BBC across Yorkshire. You're here with me, Sanchez, Payne. We've got tunes on tunes to play for you shortly. But none better than we get to play songs from talent from the area. We love bringing you new music and chat from up-and-coming local artists here on the evening show. Don't forget as well, you can go catch a load of them on BBC Introducing on Saturday night or wherever you want on BBC Sounds. All the latest new music from around Yorkshire. There's a new EP out right now by Silver Tongued Rascals. They are an indie hop electro duo fronted by Leeds Ben Randm. Here's a little bit of a taster of their new track, Asking for What.
Asking for what? Asking for what exactly? 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 Exactly what are you sure they are asking for? To be looking over their shoulder more and more when they leave their front doors. It should make your skin crawl if you were the things on the telly that women endure. Leader, got caught objectified or broke. Beeped up but then so relax, just blocks being blows. All lads being lads, cause boys will be boys. They're told it's not all men, it's that you overreact or else they're asking for it.
BBC across Yorkshire. Asking for what? Silver Tongued Rascals. Pleased to say their frontman Ben Randm joins me live in the studio now. Ben, how you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much for having me, and evening to all the listeners locked in.
This is a tune, man. I mean, we're going to get deeper into it. Let's talk about the duo, Silver Tongued Rascals, yourself and Killian Carroll. How did you meet? How did you form? How did this become a thing?
It was a brotherhood, blessed, and a connection through music. We met at a festival in London, All Points East. This is the PG version, but we enjoyed a good day separately. We didn't know each other existed in the world at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. But leaving the festival, our powers aligned. We got talking, me and a couple of his boys, and before we know it, we were going out around Dalston. We enjoyed the night, enjoyed the music, and then we kept in touch because there was a real kinship with the level and detail of the artist and the wide varied natures of artists that we were discussing as well. And we also had a lot of, there's just a bond, a real brotherhood.
Things kept clicking.
Yeah, you know, one of them when you're like, there's something further here.
Yeah.
And then he had to fly to Paris and I was returning to Leeds. This was end of lockdown as well, sort of 2021 time. And then, yeah, man, like I went on his Instagram and his profile picture had a MacBook and a guitar and I was like, something tells me he does music. And then I do stand-up comedy, creative writing, presenting, but I've always written behind the scenes, like lyrics, but I've always felt like imposter syndrome around all my music friends. But because of the kinship and the form that was, you know, bonded over music, I felt like I could present this project that has been living inside me for several years now. And when he did that, we spoke, we had similar ideas of the style and the varied genres and the inspirations that we wanted to form within our music, which I think comes across not only in this single, but in latter ones, which are going to be dropping throughout the year and on the album as well, which is dropping April next year. Hot exclusive for you, brother.
Nice.
But yeah, man, it was just one of them where it was like, you know what? Thank you for freeing something inside me. And I was able to write and create these beasts.
Love that. A beast it is indeed. For those who've never heard you before, of course, we played Ask for What, then we'll get into what that song means to you. How do you describe your sound further?
Yeah, so it's indie hop electro, like you said, from the Batman. Like it's something that is born of an indie spirit. It indulges, I'd say, like the wisdom of hip hop and the lively vibrancy of electro dance floor, like vibes and scenes.
I don't know if you've ever used that line before, but you need to record this, and that's probably one of the best, the most smoothest explanations I've ever heard. That
For real, I'll tell that. We'll snip it later when it's up on BBC Sounds.
Yes, you're looking for a job here, trying to get mine. No, that's amazing, man, and you know it really puts in perspective after we've just heard the song as well. Let's tell me a bit more behind it. I mean, a great story, how you both met and how it's, you know, it's got this energy of this artist within you. Asking for What definitely brings energy. What's the message behind it?
For me, it's a message for men to call other men out on misogynistic behaviour, perspectives, and to eradicate rhetoric that is geared towards women and pinned on women. And almost, it's a point where I feel like it's looked at in society that it's a female issue when predominantly it's male perpetrators. So I think it's something that if men amongst one another be it not just defending women in those encounters, but in small circles. If you're hearing something that is of uncouth, do you know what I mean?
Or
It's
even
like,
uncomfortable.
you know what I'm saying? Like, call it out at that moment, because you don't know if you allow that, what you're validating in that person's head, to then what could escalate down the line. And the actual song itself came after witnessing 2 incidents where I intervened, but because I intervened at a moment where it prevented things happening, nothing happened to the perpetrators, because, quote unquote, they didn't commit anything. But it didn't mean that they wasn't going to commit anything. It's that somebody, you know, intercepted it almost. So that really stayed with me. And, you know, I'm very fortunate that a lot of my friends who are lassies, they confide in me. And what's really revealing is through this song, we've aligned with like Leeds Women's Aid and Leeds Women's Safety. And we really want to not just have the song as like almost like a sort of token gesture. We really want to be raising awareness on this. We really want to be in the debate. We want to be in the conversation. And we really want to be knowing, we want women knowing out there that we're in their corner, as everybody should be. Because when you start to hear more stories, it's not even the horror stories, it's the way that women face their day, the things that they may not do because they feel like if they're put in a situation, the rhetoric will be that they put themselves in that situation. And I just think that that is crazy to think that, considering what to wear, or considering what time to go somewhere, or considering how that like already your life is prohibited, already it's restricted. So already straight away women's lives are restricted from that. And it's like, I'm all about equality, the band's all about equality, and I feel like to do that we've got to destroy the patriarchy, man, be it for race, for ableism, for everything. And I think the first thing to go at is sexism and misogyny.
Wow, BBC Across Yorkshire. We're here right now with Ben Randm, the front man of Silver Tongued Rascals, talking that truth. Brand new song, Asking for What. You mentioned songs that will be coming out later. A new EP that is coming out. Tell us about this. Is it going to be, you know, I'm not necessarily political. You're going to have messages throughout. Is it going to be expression? Tell us what people can look forward to.
I'm glad you asked it like that, because it's the first song we wanted to make a statement, because first and foremost, it's a tune. Do you know what I mean? And I think it represents the energy of what our live shows are going to be and who we're about. And it does have a message at its core. The next single is called Weekend Third Degree, which is celebrating like an ode to like clubbing culture. That's more house orientated. That's not really got a message, but it's good storytelling. It's more along the lines of The Streets, We Become Heroes, or LCD Sound System, or My Friends, who are 2 massive bands. I mean, we say that our Venn diagram is LCD Sound System, The Streets, and Outcasts. So we definitely lean into those worlds.
That's not a bad trio.
Thank you, man. But the third single is Working Class Kids, and that's got a message. You know, I'm from a single parent background, and I'm proud of that. I'm proudly working class, proudly from Bradford, and I rep that on my heart. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes and stigma towards, oh, you're raised in a certain situation, so that means you should go down a certain road. And this song is more of a defiance, not playing the victim, but it's like, if people do have to go down a certain road, don't just judge them for that. Look at the situation that they've been put into, and they're having to do what they're having to do to survive, not because they're proud of it, but because they're seeing their mum struggle. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's a real, I'd say, like, clever song performance, in the sense of the first and the third verses from the mum's angle, worried about their children, but having to work 3 jobs. So society will be like, well, you've got to watch over your kids, but if you watch over your kids, then you can't work, and you're working 3 jobs, 19 days an hour, sorry, 19 hours a day. But then on the other side of that, the middle verse is the 15-year-old son, obviously up to quote unquote no good, but it's coming from a point of not forgetting and bragging of, I do this for this. It's like, I'm seeing my mum struggle. I'm trying to help my mum through this. I can't go get a job because of my age. What can it be? So that comes with a solid message as well, and a beautiful hook of the chorus, which is life isn't handed easy to us, but that doesn't give you the right to judge. Working class kids were made of tougher stuff. No, I've messed it up.
It's okay. It's
Life
okay.
isn't
We'll get the
handed easy
bars up.
to us, but that doesn't give you the right to judge. Silver. You know what? Wait for it to come
I'm
out.
gonna say,
You believe I wrote
listen,
it? I generally wrote it. I
You've
swear.
already given us exclusive. We don't need to worry about that.
Get it on my phone. I'm not having that. That's a power on me. That.
What I do want to know is what's coming up for the rest of 2023. What are the plans?
So the rest of 2023 is the singles are going to be dropping. We've got the weekend one, which drops in September, but I still want to really focus on Asking for What. I really feel that I really want to again engage that debate and conversation and have this grow so that it can be an anthem. Working class kids, which chorus is life isn't handed easy to us, but that doesn't give you a right to judge. Working class kids are diamonds in the rough. No silver spoon, we made of tougher stuff. It was worth grinding. And then we're going to be touring in December. We've got a few options, but the date that's definitely in is going to be at Wardrobe, just over the road in December. So we're looking forward to that. Shout out to Ryan and Future Sounds and everybody there. And then next year, global domination, man. That's the goal. We've got a single that I believe is going to take over the world called Catwalk, which we might do a secret drop with that. And then the album's going to be out April. We're going to be touring again May. And then look to lead in that with the festivals, and then from the festivals, you know, bigger bookings to be able to like showcase what we're about, support slots. We're on it, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Listen, the world is your oyster, man. With that energy and the talent, the merger of the two, there's no way that can't be a succession, man. How can we find you on socials, hear your music and support?
So you can look for Silver Tongued Rascals on all the streaming platforms, especially Spotify. Likewise, if you want to, you can go on our Bandcamp. Follow at Silver Tongued Rascals on YouTube, because we're putting up lyric videos and we're doing a lot of vlogging content over the tour sides of it. Mostly we're active on Instagram, which is at Silver Tongued Rascals. Join our sound, join our world, and trust me, man, come along for the ride, because it's going to be a vibe. Peace and light.
Ben, appreciate you, man.
Asking for what? Asking for what exactly? 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 Exactly what are you sure they are asking for? To be looking over their shoulder more and more when they leave their front doors. It should make your skin crawl if you
Asking for what? Silver Tongued Rascals. Follow them on their social media. Make sure you go and support them. Download their music. Gonna go on tour. And world domination. You heard it there from frontman Ben. And tell you what, when you're hearing tunes like this, it's hard to deny, isn't it? Make sure you support them. BBC Across Yorkshire. More tunes on the way. Grace Carter, Rihanna, and Al Horan coming up next.